This is Doofy McButterscotch, and we have returned to Bill Murray. Now let's get started on Charlie's Angels. I saw this one a while ago too. It's a pretty good action movie, and so is the sequel. Even though it is not in this list and I will not get to review it, it's pretty good too. But this one's unique. It's got Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, and Drew Barrymore, and it's got Bill Murray in there too, and Joey from Friends. It's a pretty good action flick. It's a good representation of the original Charlie's Angels. I have never actually seen a single episode of the original Charlie's Angels. I've heard that it's good, but yeah, it's a really good action film. A lot of good spy elements, a lot of good comedy thrown in there. And I say it's an all-around good film. I saw it a long time ago, so I cannot give you an up-to-date review of Charlie's Angels, but I can tell you it's worth the watch. Ghostbusters 2. Now, I was talking about this in the other video, so this one has nostalgia for me, because I watched this one when I was a kid, and it's got this one painting, Ghost, which I thought was super cool back in the day. And it's got this one weird guy who's like possessed or something and steals a baby, and you know, there's a lot of stuff going down in this one. It's got nostalgia, as I said previously, just a few sentences ago, so I definitely like this one. Ghostbusters 2, I believe, is the superior Ghostbusters movie. Tootsie! Now, Bill Murray kind of plays a supporting actor in this one. We did this one already because it's in Dustin Hoffman's list. Never mind. Groundhog Day. This one is a tremendous comedy. It is so original. They've only done one other movie that does the same thing as Groundhog Day, and I believe it does a pretty darn good job. I like Groundhog Day because it's basically reliving the same day over and over and over and over and over again. And you've got Bill Murray in there, which makes the film fantastic. And one of my favorite parts is one of my favorite characters is Ned Ryerson. And if you've watched this movie a shit ton of times, you know exactly who that is. And I've actually been to the area where Bill Murray steps into the puddle all the time. I actually stepped in that puddle. It's still there. Well, no, it isn't. There's actually just a big pothole there, and it says this is where the puddle used to be. So this is a really important film to me. I watch it a lot, and you know, I used to watch it every single Groundhog Day, but I mean, you can only watch a film so many times before you get sick of it, and since I started watching new movies on this list, I've strayed from it, but it's an excellent movie. And whenever I ask someone, have you ever seen Groundhog Day, and they say no, it just pisses me off, because it's a movie that everyone in the world should watch because it's terrific. It's absolutely fantastic. Stripes, I didn't really connect with this film as much. Even though it's got Bill Murray in it, I think it's a pretty old movie. As you can see, it was made in 1981. It's a movie about the war and being in the army. So they never actually go to war. It's more about everything that happens before a war. And, you know, I just didn't get it. It was kind of wacky and kooky, but I just didn't connect with it. So this wasn't a higher ranked comedy film for me. Royal Tenenbaums. Oh, we did this already with Donald Glover. Yeah, not Donald Glover, what's his name? Danny Glover. Yeah, we did that one already. And we did Wild Things with Kevin Bacon, so let's move down to Scrooged, which is another fantastic movie about the whole A Christmas Story thing with Tiny Tim and all that stuff. They do that movie so many goddamn times, but it's such a terrific story, I don't even mind that much. I like seeing them tell the same story. One of my favorites is the Dogs That Went to Heaven version. I really like the shit out of that one. That was good. That was probably my favorite representation of the whole A Christmas Carol. But Scrooge was pretty good too. I watched it a little too young, and there were a few parts that kind of creeped me out. It would have been better if I watched it later on, but when you watch it as a kid, it kind of creeps you out. There's a guy that freezes to death. Death has a whole bunch of bodies inside of his torso, so it kind of freaks you out when you're a kid, so it wasn't the best timing. But watching this movie later on in life, when I was age appropriate, I thought it was decent. It had a few comedy elements. It was kind of more scary than it was funny. Some of the characters came off really annoying to me, so this is not my favorite version of A Christmas Carol, but it's decent. It's better than a lot of other fucking movies that are out there, I'll say that, but it's not the best. What about Bob? Well, Bob is played by Bill Murray, and Bob is a very annoying character who annoys the shit out of Richard Dreyfuss, who eventually is driven insane by this guy. And I'm sure that there are a lot of films out there about a normal person who interacts with a very annoying person, an annoying person who everybody else likes but this one other guy, so it's pretty good. There's a few scenes where Richard is choking out Bill, so I thought it was pretty decent, and I'd never watched it before until I started on this book, so I thought it was pretty decent. I definitely recommend it. It's a decent comedy. It'll be good. Is it the best comedy ever? Nope, but it's decent. What do I think of Bill Murray? Well, he seems a little serious sometimes. Is he my favorite actor ever? Well, I wouldn't say that, but I would say he is better than a lot of other actors. He's got originality, he's got his own personality, and I like how actors can do that, so I definitely like the guy more than I hate the guy, I'll say that. Liam Neeson. Now this guy actually took a really long time to really get out there in terms of Hollywood and that sort of stuff, so when he didn't really become very well known until Taken, which was made way after this list came out, so it's not going to be on there. We already did The Phantom Menace, Schindler's List, we did that with Ralph Fiennes, Gangs of New York, we did that with Leonardo DiCaprio. The Haunting, there, we can review that one. The Haunting, well, it's a take on an old classic horror movie, of course. Haunting's not going to be about anything funny, but yeah, it's about a house that's haunted, and there's a whole bunch of people that go there, and it's also got Owen Wilson in there, who loses his head. Yuck, 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 yuck. Bad joke. Couldn't help myself. But it's decent. It's got Catherine Zeta-Jones in there, so it's a decent horror movie. There are some stupid fucking horror movies these days. I think the horror genre has personally gone down the toilet, but this is a good one. So if you want to see a good horror movie, watch The Haunting. It's got good actors, and you can actually get through it without rolling your eyes a dozen times. We'll get back to Liam Neeson in the next video. See you later.